Remember the 80s when action movies were a massive thing in Hollywood and movies like Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, and Predator were roaring successes? Amid all those high adrenaline-boasted movies, legendary director John Hughes, the man behind some of the most iconic movies like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, The Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, and Home Alone, came up with this unusual and weird teen science fiction movie, Weird Science. From a bizarre montage of creating a pretty hot woman out of a doll to a talking piece of turd. I mean, a piece of turd, literally. This movie has everything a teenage boy can dream of. So, without any delay, let's get into the video and see what this cult movie has to offer. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Frankenstein's Bride. The film begins with two teenage high school misfits, Gary Wallace and Wyatt Donnell, staring at the girls in the gymnasium. It's clear from the movie's first scene that both Gary and Wyatt are nerds in their own right, and nobody really gives a flying crap about them. They are bothered by the fact that they are kinda invisible to all the kids in the school. While they really want to be popular and act cool like the other popular kids, they know they are way too far from being the cool kids. While they cry for attention while looking at the pretty girls in the gymnasium, Ian, we're talking Robert Downey Jr. in his Chaplin days, and Max mess with them by dropping their pants in front of all the girls. Devastated from this insult, Gary and Wyatt spend time talking about having a better life at Wyatt's house. Well, who doesn't want to be popular in school? Girls, parties, and being friends with the cool kids? Unfortunately, the nerds can only dream of such a life. Living such a life is vivid and far from reality for them. But while Wyatt's parents were away from home visiting his sister's fiance, both of them get the idea of creating a computer-generated woman with the hopes of getting some attention using her. By the way, they get that crazy idea from the 1931 classic Frankenstein, where they notice Frankenstein resurrecting the monster in his lab. With this crazy idea in their brain to build a woman out of Wyatt's computer using the Memotech MTX512 and hacking into the government system for more power, they create a graphical print of a woman. Funny enough, they gave her the face of a pretty model from the magazine and the hair of Einstein. Yeah, you heard that right. But these two nerds managed to conjure life into a doll using the computer and created one of the hottest chicks of the 80s. Boys' Night Out. After getting out of the system, the girl asks Gary and Wyatt what they want to do for fun. Too stunned to speak by the results of their experiment, they just follow whatever she tells them to do. Three of them take a shower and get ready for clubbing. Here, we learn that she is not just a hot girl, but a hot girl with crazy superpowers. She can do anything they ask her to do because she kind of works for them, like a genie from the Arabian Nights. She got them ready for the party and drove them to the club in a 1959 Cadillac Eldorado convertible and a pair of fake IDs to enter. On their way to the club, she asked them to give herself a name because they are the creators and hence they named her Lisa. After getting into the club, the boys made sure to get drunk and mess everything up. I mean, it's not really their fault. They're just 16. On their way back, Wyatt drives them home, who seems a little less drunk than Gary. But Wyatt didn't know he was about to get into a huge mess because his brother Chet was already home. While Gary and Lisa successfully get into the house under Chet's nose, Wyatt gets caught by him. Chet, portrayed by the late legendary Bill Paxton, is a bully to his own brother. Seeing Wyatt drunk and coming here so late at night, Chet pins him on the wall and scares him that he's going to tell everyone about his adventures. Wyatt successfully gets himself out of that situation by offering him $175, which Chet happily agrees to take. But he encounters Gary with Wyatt and starts bullying them for being nerds. He warns Wyatt not to let Gary vomit in their house. After encountering Chet, Wyatt puts Gary to sleep and searches for Lisa. Lisa meets him on the balcony and they kiss with a moment of passion. After that, Lisa even asked him if he was really 15. They start kissing again. Turning the tables. When the boys wake up in the morning, they think that they had a weird dream last night. In Gary's words, a wet, detailed dream. But when Wyatt enters the loo wearing a woman's underwear, Gary realizes that whatever happened last night was not a dream. Wyatt finds Lisa in the kitchen making breakfast for them. She tells Wyatt that he slept during the middle of their moment, but promises him that they will do that once again later. Afterward, Wyatt, Gary, and Lisa go to the shopping center. There, Lisa gets the attention of Ian and Max, but they are shocked to see losers like Gary and Wyatt picking her up in a Porsche. But Lisa invites them to a party at Wyatt's house. Back at home, Wyatt pleads with Lisa not to throw a party because if she does, his parents will probably throw him out of their house. But Lisa tells him that if he wants to be famous in school, he needs to start living like a party animal and stop living in the jungle like some caveman. Then she goes to Gary's house to pick him up, but she erases his parents' memory after they refuse to let him go out with her. Back at the Wyatt house, Lisa had invited everyone from school to the party. Ian and Max also joined the party with their girlfriends, Deb and Hilly, by the way. Wyatt and Gary have a massive crush on these girls. They don't have the slightest idea who they are. Lisa told Ian and Max about her origin and how the boys crafted her from a computer, and she did everything they wanted her to do. Listening to this, Ian and Max could not believe that losers like Wyatt and Gary could get a girl like her, though they thought of her as a crazy chick who lied to them about her origin. While everyone was partying, Wyatt's grandparents arrived there to meet their innocent grandson, but Lisa took away their memory and put it in the cupboard. Meantime, Ian and Max confront the boys to tell them how they created Lisa. To reach the heights of fame and earn the friendship of the bullies, they agreed to build another girl. They followed the exact instructions and create another model for the experiment, but to their dismay, they failed to make another girl from the experiment. Ian and Max run away from the place after seeing all the destruction. Lisa got into the room and told them that they hadn't attached a doll to the computer, but they had connected the wires to a magazine with a photo of a missile. Suddenly, a huge missile starts to appear from underground, breaking the house apart. As if all this chaos wasn't enough, Lisa gets a crazy idea of boosting the boys' confidence and invites a gang of mutant bikers into the party. This movie is filled with Mad Max references, man. The mutant bikers crash into the party and terrorize all the kids with their crazy bike stunts. Scared by the bikers, Wyatt and Gary hide in the cupboard, but they forcefully get them out and start trash-talking them. They also take Deb and Hilly hostage. Like some damsel in distress, the girls beg everyone to save them from the bikers. Seeing this, the boys start getting into their hero mode by confronting the bikers. Gary even pulls out a huge gun from his pocket and points it at the head of their leader. Suddenly, the gang runs away from the place, and Deb and Hilly fall in love with them for their bravery. All's well that ends well. The next morning, Chet comes home from hunting and sees the wreck the guys made. He hunts down the guys and humiliates them before Deb and Hilly. He blames everyone for the destruction. They are responsible though. Lisa asks the boys to drop the girls off at their respective homes. The boys drop the girls at their homes and finally get to kiss them by winning over their hearts. Back at home, we see Lisa turn Chet into a talking, farting, disgusting piece of turd. The ever disrespecting Chet has now become a real talking piece of turd. Chet begs Lisa to transform him back into his real self, but Lisa denies his request by saying it's a punishment for his actions towards his little brother for years. The boys get back home and find the disgusting turd in the middle of the house. Chet asks for Wyatt's forgiveness by saying sorry to him multiple times. Wyatt and Gary find Lisa in her room, who bids them a tearful goodbye and disappears from their sight. The moment she leaves the house, everything goes back to normal, including the potty-mouthed Chet. Ultimately, we see Lisa joining as the gym teacher at Wyatt and Gary's school. Is Chet dangerous? Chet, being the elder brother, gives Wyatt a really hard time. He keeps talking to Wyatt and Gary in a demeaning manner, makes fun of them for not being as cool as he is, and uses a lot of weird names to describe them. Whatever he does is annoying and mean, but I think he is dangerous. He's just an old mean kid who constantly tries to scare his little brother and friend for personal gain. With a not so amiable attitude and anger issues, he can be a little dangerous dangerous for some people around him. Although he is not physically dangerous, his vocabulary does have the potential to send someone into therapy. You never know what is about to come out of his mouth at any given moment. But we also have to remember that he keeps talking to Wyatt in that manner because Wyatt and Gary are the kind of guys who end up creating a mess every time, no matter the situation. He gets his redemption when Lisa turns him into a piece of shit, literally. He asks for forgiveness from Wyatt. Though he is not a physical threat to his brother or anyone around him, he is just an obnoxious and repulsive guy who loves being a bully. So this is it for today. Check out our exclusive content on our channel, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on our videos to let us know what you think of them. See ya!